So, hey guys, welcome again to my vlog. So for today, we discuss the summary of the chapter 6, the network layer. So, characteristic of the IP protocol. Encapsulating IP. Segments are encapsulated into IP packet for transmission. The network layer adds a header so packet can be routed to be destination. IP connectionless. Sender doesn't know if the receiver is listening or message arrive on time. Receiver doesn't know data is coming. IP best effort delivery. No guarantees of delivery are made. IP media independent. IP can travel over different types of media. So the characteristic of the IP protocol, this is the IPv4 packet. So PV4 packet header. So this is the example of that PV4 packet header. As you can see, byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, and byte 4. So let's proceed. The version is 0100. DS is packet priority. So the TTL is limit life of packet protocol. Upper layer protocol such as TCP. Source IP address. Source of packet. So destination IP address is the destination of packet. Next, this is the IPv6 packet. IPv6 packet header. So this is the example of the IPv6 header, the diagram. So byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, and byte 4. So let's proceed. Version 0110. Traffic class priority. Flow level, same flow will receive same handling. Payload length, same as total length. Next header, layer 4 protocol. So hop limit replaces TTL field. So host forwarding decision, the routing. Three types of destination. Itself, localhost, remote host. Default gateway. Routes traffic to other network. Has a local IP address in the same address range as other hosts on the network. Can take data in the forward data out. So, using a default gateway. Host fill the default gateway when sending packet to the remote network. Host routing table. Use the netstat R command to display the host routing table on a Windows machine. Router packet forwarding decision. Router and host forward packet in a similar fashion. The main difference is that router have more interfaces while host open have only one. Devices on directly connected network can be reached directly. Devices on remote network are reached through gateway. IPv4 routers routing table. Use the show IP commands to display the routing table on a Cisco router. The router routing table also has information on how the route was learned, its trustworthiness, and rating. It also contains which interface to use the reach dot. So, the directly connected routing tables entry. C. Identifies a directly connected network automatically created when the interface is configured with an IP address and activated. L. Identifies that this is a local interface, this IPv4 address of the interface on the router. So, remote network routing tables entry. So, remote destination can't be reached directly. Remote routes contain the address of the intermediate network device to be used to reach the destination. The next hop address. What is next hop address? Next hop address is the address of intermediate device used to reach the specific remote destination. Routers. The routers is a computer. So, routers have CPU, memory, and 1/0 devices. Cisco router use iOS their operating system. Router memory. Just a computer, router have memory. Router contains RAM, ROM, NVRAM, and flash memory. So, the routers. Boot set files. iOS image file is stored in the flash. Contains the iOS. The flash also stores other system files. The NVRAM stores configuration parameters. So, the directly connected routing tables entry. C. Identifies a directly connected network automatically created when the interface is configured with an IP address and activated. L. Identifies that this is a local interface. This IPv4 address of the interface on the router. So, remote network routing tables entry. So, remote destination can't be reached directly. Remote routes contain the address of the intermediate network device to be used to reach the destination. The next hop address. What is next hop address? Next hop address is the address of intermediate device used to reach the specific remote destination. Routers. The routers is a computer. So, routers have CPU, memory, and 1/0 devices. Cisco router use iOS their operating system. Router memory. Just a computer, router have memory. Router contains RAM, ROM, NVRAM, and flash memory. So, the routers. Boot set files. iOS image file is stored in the flash. Contains the iOS. The flash also stores other system files. The NVRAM stores configuration parameters. Next hop address is the address of intermediate device used to reach the specific remote destination. Routers. The routers is a computer. So, routers have CPU, memory, and 1/0 devices. Cisco router use iOS their operating system. Router memory. Just a computer, router have memory. Router contains RAM, ROM, NVRAM, and flash memory. So, the routers. Boot set files. iOS image file is stored in the flash. Contains the iOS. The flash also stores other system files. The NVRAM stores configuration parameters. Router boot up process. Perform the post and load the bootstrap program. Locate and load the Cisco iOS software. Locate the load that startup configuration file or entered setup mode. Show version output. The show version commands provide information on the amounts of memory installed, what iOS was loaded during the boots, and more. Inside a router. Inside the router, router have the same general structure. Connect to a router. Router have many ports to support connection. LAN and WAN interfaces. So, routers have LAN and WAN port. Different models ship the different ports. Ethernet is very common on different router models. So, the LAN is the local area network and the WAN is the wireless area network. Configuring a Cisco router. So, configure initial settings. Basic switch configuration step. The first is configure device name, secure exec mode, secure BTY lines, secure privilege exec mode, secure all password, provide all notification, configure the management SVI, and save the configuration. So that's all the basic switch configuration steps. The configure interfaces. Configure router interfaces. Enter the interface hub configuration mode. Add a description to the interface. So, this is optional. Configure an IPv4 and IPv6 address. Activate the interface with the no shutdown command. So, verify interface configuration. The show IP route, show interfaces, and show interface. The show IP route. Display the contents of the IPv4 routing table is stored in the RAM. Show interfaces. Display statistic for all interfaces on the device. Show IP interface. Display the IPv4 statistic for all interfaces on a router. So, default gateway for a switch A. Default gateway is required for remote network communication. If a switch is to be managed via its BTY lines, it needs a default gateway. Use the IP default gateway command to configure the default gateway for a switch. So, that's all for chapter 6. I hope you learned something from my blog and read the summary of the chapter 6 to explore your knowledge and improve your skills. So, I hope you like it, my summary, and I'm Brian J. Asi, so that's all. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. So, goodbye and thank you. Bye bye.